In today's episode, we are going to talk about the phenomenon of wishy-washy spirituality and how that has the potential of really slowing down the process of ascension. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, and welcome back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Clappy. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. So in today's episode, I want to talk about the increase that I have noticed on what I like to call wishy-washy spirituality, the happy clappy, let's make this wonderful, let's all be in love and light. And yeah, spirituality is about bringing in that divine love, bringing in that divine light, living in peace. But to be able to get there, we've got to fight. We've got to fight for ourselves. We've got to be willing and committed to do the work that is needed to face the darker aspects of ourselves, the shadow work, the dark night of the soul, whatever terminology you want to use, to be able to get into that space of inner peace. You need to do the inner work. And there seems to be a reluctance in this. There seems to be an increase in magic to take a shortcut, to whitewash with love, with beautiful words, with beautiful terminology, with mindfulness. And mindfulness, I'm not dishing mindfulness, don't get me wrong. Mindfulness plays a very powerful part within the journey. But what I'm noticing is people are wanting to skip the hard parts. And what Spirit actually showed me and what they reminded me of is the fight or flight reaction that we all have within us when we come across challenges. And it would appear that people are using divine love and divine light and the beauty of that to not actually face, not actually fight for their right to be in that. They're not willing to fight their inner demons. And I had this actually come up this week where I put a post out and it had nothing to do with kind of warrior work or fighting, but I used a visual of a warrior. And so I was given this massive, great big list of why we shouldn't be doing that and how we're moving into the new era. And in the new era, we don't have to fight. In the new era, it's going to be changed. The old paradigm needs to collapse. And yeah, the old paradigm does need to collapse. But if we don't actually do the work, we're going to go into the new era with the same old programs. Just talking about loving light isn't enough. We have to live it. We have to be it. And we can't be it unless we fight for our right, unless we fight our demons, unless we fight those negative programs that have been passed down through the generations that we picked up in this 3D life. We have to reprogram them. We have to be willing to go in and do the work, fight for our right to be in that light. Now, the light is accessible to all of us, and it's with us constantly. It's not about fighting so we can bring down the light. The light is here. What we're fighting are our own demons, our own patterns, our own programs, our own insecurities, our own sense of lack. so that we can actually bathe and radiate in that light. And so I really just want to bring it home that, yeah, do we want life of peace? Yes. Do we want the life of abundance? Yes. Do we want all the bounty that is available to us by being on the spiritual journey? Of course we do, but we also have to take responsibility for the work that is needed within us to be able to maintain those frequencies, so that we can maintain them for ourselves, and so that we can then, once we've mastered and maintaining them for ourselves, we are then able to hold space to allow others to go through that process. Because the dark night of the soul, if you've been on the journey for any time, most of you would have done a lot of the shadow work alone, and it's hard and it's scary, and you have crashing tower moments, and you're existing in complete rubble, and then you have to rebuild it. And to do that with alone, physically alone, because we're never alone spiritually. We always have our ancestors, we always have our guides, we always have our team, we always have our energetic team that are championing us. So we're never really alone. But when you first start out, it feels very lonely. What we're trying to achieve at the moment, being on this path, is that we that have been on it for some time can take the wisdoms, can understand what's going on, and to hold space for those that will be going through it in the future or are going through it now, so that we can hold space, so that they don't have to have that sense of loneliness in those moments of deep despair, because you will go to deep despair. We all hold programs of deep despair within us, whether we've had a traumatic life or whether we haven't. Genetically, ancestrally, those moments, those genetic imprinted memories are within us, and it's and it's part of the journey to reprogram that, reframe those. So we go back, we jump the timelines, and we go back and we reframe them. And that's when we infuse it with the happy clappy. But we can't infuse it with the happy clappy if we're not willing to go back and face and move through that darkness within ourselves. And so, yeah, it is a fight. That is why we are geared up. That is why we have the phrase, are we going to flight? So we're not going to go there. And so nothing really changes in longevity. It may change short term, but the longevity. So you may change your life now, but genetically, energetically, you're not changing anything. So your future ancestors, your future lineage will still carry those codes. So for anybody out there that is fighting against the words fighting, the words warrior, the words that conjure up anything that is difficult, and they're wanting to just apply love to it, you're doing us all an injustice. Because those future, as I said, you may get the longevity for your life, but you won't have the longevity for future generations. Those energies will still be there. You will not have broken those cycles. You will not have broken those codes. You will not have broken those programs. We have to fight at the moment. We have to be warriors at the moment if we are going to make the changes that are needed within humanity and take them into the new era. we have to do the work. And I'm reminded as I say that the deeper understandings that we can take from the activities that we actually undertake. And I'm reminded of last year when I did my firewalking certification to become an instructor. And as a water sign, obviously dealing with fire, it was very powerful for me. And I could have gone along and I could have done the course and I could have learnt what the instructors said, and I could go away and I could replicate that. But firewalking is not just about pushing through your fears. Firewalking has so much more energy, potential, wisdom to give us. It's one of our 4 elements. And so I didn't take the easy route of just learning what I was being instructed to learn and taking that away. I chose the harder route. And I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but I wanted to understand and to understand how, as the element of water, which is my very being, could alchemize with the fire. Because these are 2 elements that can destroy each other. They're 2 very powerful elements, and they're opposing elements. And so I wanted to understand how I could alchemize these 2 elements to function together, to work together. And that made it a very deep and a very profound, and has taken me all of this year, and I'm still not absolutely clear on it. I'm going to be honest. Have I been able to alchemize it? Yes, I have. Do I know how I alchemized it? No, I don't, not yet. I'm going to be honest, that's still coming through. I'm still working through that to fully understand how and what I actually did to alchemize those 2 so that they're working together, they're working in unison rather than being opposing forces. And when it comes to our shadow work, this is what we're looking at. This is to have that longevity of change where we actually change the trajectory of our future generations. We need to be taking it deeper layers, deeper layers, deeper layers, deeper layers. Only you will know the depth that you need to take it and the depth that you're able to take it, or want to take it, or are being guided to take it. But it's about learning how we can alchemize opposing forces so that they function in unity. Gaia knows how these opposing forces work in unity. And that is why it doesn't matter what humanity does, Gaia will always survive. And these are the lessons that humanity need to learn. Now, do we learn them in this life, or do we leave those deeper introspections for the next life, or the next generation, or the generation after that? Only you will know where you are within your lineage and what is needed and being asked from you. But it is being asked. It's about creating unity so that we can have that peace, and so that future generations can have that peace. And we can only do that by doing the deeper work, by doing the introspection, by taking ourselves to dark places that make us feel very uncomfortable. I'm not talking about being scared. I'm not talking about being in fear. What I'm talking about is taking yourself to a place that is going to be difficult, challenging, uncomfortable, so that you can push through those negative, lower vibrating energies, so that when you are in the energy of love, of in happiness, of joy, of bliss, of euphoria, you're able to maintain them rather than fluctuating. because you will fluctuate if you don't address the negative aspects of your being, the negative aspects of your ancestral line. If they're not addressed, there will be fluctuation. The art of maintaining those higher vibrations, and I've said it in another video, we need to become a clear, clean vessel so that we are then doing the work of the divine. We then become a fully integrated, fully connected light being. That's where we're going in the future. That is the new era. But we can't go there not doing the work. So there is a fight. You do need to be a warrior. And I'm not going to apologize for using those type of words. This is not a time to be wishy-washy with your spirituality. We had that back in the 60s when there was supposed to be a great awakening then. And there was a lot of really good work done then that we were able to bring in this time, that we have been able to use this time. I'm not denying there wasn't work done then, but it wasn't taken to the depths that was needed to change the trajectory of humanity. And that's what we're here to try and achieve. That's what we're here and we're going to do. But we do have to put the work in. And I know that's come across as a bit heavy, but my guides really wanted it to be said. There are a lot of opposing forces out there that are wanting you to just do the spiritual work on a surface level, because they know that that isn't sufficient to get us to where we want to go. And so it slows the whole process down. My guides wanted me to come on here and tell you that isn't sufficient. You need to take it deeper. You need to be doing the inner work. You need to be facing those darker aspects of yourself. You do it in your own time. But know that it does need doing. It can't be glossed over. We can't have the happy clappy. It won't work in the longevity of what we're trying to achieve. And so I hope you like this video. I hope it's been of help to you. If you want to work with me, all the details are in the description box below. If you have liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, pop them in the comments box. And if you've not yet done so, subscribe to the channel. And I shall see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.